Guys, in this week's discussion on Black and White Episode 3, the concepts that I found to be interesting and tied into our text were the idea of colorism and how when Bruno and Carmen went to the cowboy bar, they felt unwanted. Well, at least in Carmen, felt unwanted and felt not welcome, as she had as opposed to when she was white, she was very welcomed. Another example that I found that tied into our text was the fact that Nick was held back in the 6th grade and the 8th grade and is currently suspended. He is 16 years old. He was suspended for bringing a knife to school. He said it was his friend's knife, but he is 16, suspended from the 8th grade, and doesn't really seem to understand the importance of obtaining an education, and the fact that he went and bought a $150, $170 watch, and that was what he was happy to spend his money on. It was interesting that his mom and dad had to tell him that he cannot do things like that. Like, he needs to wait when he is more successful or plans better in order to buy things like that. It was interesting that he has no clue how to spend money. He has no drive to go get his GED or go to college because he's currently not thinking of the consequences that will occur once his parents no longer have control over him once he's an adult. It's almost similar to the concept that in our text of school to prison pipeline, how some black students don't get the same push as white students in school, so therefore they're suspended, and then right after they go right into the juvenile or criminal system. It's actually very sad. Another example that I thought was interesting that kind of represented racism and colorism at the same time, when Carmen and Bruno went to the park with their friend as a couple. They were met with a lot of hostility and a lot of judgment because they looked at Bruno as this black man who was dating a white woman, almost like a sellout, like, how dare you bring her to our neighborhood. And it just proved how angry that particular neighborhood was regarding bringing a white woman into their sacred space. Some other interesting things that I found was right at the beginning of the episode, they were talking about video girls and how would you like it if your daughter were to dance and show her breasts, and that's how she gained attention from men. And they were saying that in the media and in Hollywood, in our case, that the lighter skinned people of color, whether it be in the Latin community or in the black community, that like the Halle Berrys, Beyonce's, the Jennifer Lopez, that type of woman is looked at as more beautiful versus the more dark complected women. And it's actually pretty sad that that is something that people have to worry about. And that also ties into the colorism of the lighter your skin, the better, or the more beautiful you are.